Attitude like a young O'Shea with an AK.
Okay, don't you tell these motherfuckers that my name is O'Shea.
Everyone, it's the Nation of Podcation Daily Podcast. I'm O'Shea. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button. Hip hop icon, legend, mogul, and super producer Dr. Dre tells what it was like leaving Death Row Records and then working with Nas and the firm. Now, as we all know, Dr. Dre started Death Row Records with Suge Knight back in the early 90s, and he did that so he could get off a Ruthless record with Eazy-E. There was some bad contracts with Eazy, so he wanted to get out of that and start his own thing with Suge Knight. Well, things with Suge Knight didn't work out so well because Suge Knight kind of had this whole thing where it was West Coast versus East Coast, and they weren't allowed necessarily to work with the East Coast artists, and Dr. Dre was like, nah, he still wanted to be able to have that creative freedom, work with whomever he wanted to work with. So that's why we have Aftermath now. He ended up leaving Death Row Records, and we ended up getting the Firm album. That was one of the first albums on Aftermath. That was with Nas and his group with like Foxy Brown and AZ, and the album was good. It was just different than what we were used to with Death Row Records. Anyway, let's take a look at this clip from Dr. Dre as he tells about leaving Death Row Records, being able to work with Nas, and then putting that Firm album together. Let's tune in.
And with East Coast artists, we're going to work. You dabble with it before.
I'm not thinking about, when I go in the studio with somebody, I'm not thinking about where you live or where you from, East Coast, West Coast, all that bullshit.
Right.
That was complete bullshit beef that caused a lot of motherfucking violence, danger to our culture and what we do that was really unnecessary. So I wasn't thinking about it in that way. What I was thinking about was working with an artist that I really love and respect, Nas.
Yeah.
So, you know, that was it. That was the draw for me. So I got a chance to get in the room with this amazing artist, and we just created something that I thought was spectacular, you know, meaning Phone Tap. I thought that was a really fun record, and that was one of the times that there was no managers or anything like that in the studio, and it was just us, artists just in there, just free to be creative.
All right, Nation, there you have it. You got Dr. Dre saying that whole East Coast, West Coast thing was all BS. A whole bunch of people died. It made the culture look bad. It made them look bad. It made all of us look bad, that we can't get along from coast to coast. Now, he did say that he didn't care where artists were from, as long as they were dope and he looked up to them or he admired what they did, then he was going to work with them, and that's what spawned that relationship with Nas, and that's how we got the Firm album. Nation, what do you think about Dr. Dre's comments on leaving Death Row Records, the East Coast, West Coast beef, and working with Nas and the Firm? Nation, let me know in the comment section down below. Make sure you all hit that like and subscribe button on your way out. Peace.
O'Shea and I have been kicking it strong for a minute now. O'Shea doesn't drink. He doesn't smoke. O'Shea is a professional model.
Attitude like a young O'Shea with an AK.
Okay, don't you tell these motherfuckers that my name is O'Shea.